What's going on, everybody? You are tuned into the Multiverse Theory podcast. Today, we're doing our review for Titans Season 2, Episode 2. Before we get started, I am your host, Preston, and I am joined here by Carmine. Say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the resident DC guy, Carmine. Let's get to Titan Season 2, Episode 2, Rose. Let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping. So, we're going to talk about Titan Episode 2, Season 2, which technically is Episode 1, Season 2, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, bro.
Yeah, it is what it is, but it's neither here nor there. But what is here is a really good episode of Titans. I think they're starting to continue. It's only 2 episodes in, but so far I've been very impressed on what they're doing so far, and I'm hoping that they'll continue what they're doing as opposed to some other episodes. It feel like they really found their footing and they're going straight ahead with this thing. This is a really really
Absolutely.
really good episode of Titans. I was not mad at all. What did you think about this episode here?
I, I love this episode so much because we basically see that um there's we basically see that there's a big Titans team, a team of the past and a team of the present. And I love the fact that even though there are people that are separate, Starfire, Donna Troy, Hank and Don, we're still getting what they're doing. Like it still cuts to what they're doing. Obviously, it ties into the story. We see Starfire and Donna Troy, staking out Shimmer, trying to catch her or whatever. Which I really like the banter and conversation between Donna Troy and Starfire.
Hmm.
And I feel like at one point in that conversation they both looked at each other like, so both of us had some of Dick Grayson. We both had some of that Dick Grayson
Pun
because
intended.
it seemed like, yeah, it seemed like they were like they both noticed like, really. um Donna Troy looking all surprised, like, why did he call me to help him? But with the kids, like, I'm gonna get because he ain't need your help, obviously. But but whatever. But I really loved. But one thing I really loved, about the episode, I loved basically a lot of mostly everything. But I loved when they cut. Listen, one of the strengths of Titans, the show, has been Hawk and Dove
Yeah,
for me. Like one of the
absolutely.
biggest strengths, everything involving Hawk and Dove has been just awesome. Period. Their whole story, their relationship together, everything has just been awesome. So all their whole story of them basically using their farm as basically a halfway house, really. Um Kind of like a halfway house, but more of was a rehabilitation spot
Hmm.
because Hank is someone who's has a problem, he's getting over it, so he's using that to help others. We see this kid there that he's helping, teach him how to ride a horse, whatever, just trying to get him clean. And we first of all, who needs that much steak? This guy talking about he got 40 steaks getting ready to grill and so I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, it's just I'm like, first of all, it's just the two of you. And if it's not just the two of you and there's that other guy, that's just three people. Y'all need that much steak.
that's a
First of
fact.
all. Number two, I'm jealous because I want that.
Hmm.
That's number two. But anyway, I love that whole thing, and I loved also the fact that we saw that Hank is okay at not being Hawk anymore. He's cool with it. But we see that Dawn still wants to be Dove
Hmm.
and is still obsessed with being that person, that crime fighter. And it's awesome how the roles are completely reversed this season. Because in the first season it was Hank. And it was Hank that wanted to keep going, keep doing his job, da da da, and Dawn wanted out.
Hmm.
But now it's completely reversed, and Dawn can't get out. She doesn't want to get out. She wants to keep doing what she's doing. So I thought it was great. I thought everything with Dick Grayson, Raven, and I love that they showed us that it ain't no Raven trapped Trigon, but Trigon's trapped in that stone.
Mm-hmm.
and it ain't over with the whole Trigon storyline. And we obviously saw that in this episode that and just like in the not the cartoon show. I remember in I don't is it the cartoon show or the comics? I'm trying to remember if it's one of the Titans movies, but Raven can't sleep because if she sleep, Trigon escapes,
I think that was that the
and
Justice
it's
League versus Titans movie?
I think that was the movie, and I feel like they pulled that from the movie because she's trying to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and that her power is like manifesting. Like I feel like that's how Trigon's trying. That's how he's able to escape. Is by her sleeping. So it basically gave us a glimpse of yeah, she's gonna Raven's gonna have a real hard time this season.
Yeah, she is.
I guess so. Once again, Jason Todd was awesome. His banter back and forth was great. I love that whole little that fight that him and that little practice session that him and Gar had.
That was funny.
I thought that was pretty cool. And we got introduced Rose, and we all know who Rose is.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know until the episode. Well, only probably two of them know now, right now. But and I thought the introduction of Doctor Light was pretty dope too. So but anyway, I don't want to say everything, so you go ahead.
No, I agree. Yeah, the introduction to Doctor Light, that was one of the parts that I thought was really, really interesting. Uh, kind of weird in a good way. But
Yeah.
like I said, I like this episode a lot. I agree with everything you said. Actually, most of almost everything that you said was all like my favorite parts of this thing, especially the practice fight with Gar and Jason Todd. Like that was one of my favorite things,
Hmm.
um and the spot where Dick Grayson told him he was like, "Hey, I'm no longer Robin. Like you are." You know, and we obviously know what that's going towards.
Yeah.
But I don't know why every time they mention something about him no longer being Robin, I just get more and more excited because we know what's coming up next, and I can't wait to see it.
But I thought that was kind of, but I also thought that was kind of dope. And if you guys are not noticing that Jason right now, Jason Todd, they're using Jason Todd. If everyone didn't notice, they're using Jason Todd as basically in a Damian Wayne role. He's
Hmm.
basically Damian Wayne right now in this Titan team because he's acting like Damian Wayne in
Like a
this
little,
Titans team pretty much.
yeah, like a little brat
Yeah,
type of
because
thing.
yeah, he's definitely acting like it. And I love when Dick Grayson's basically telling him like they're like you're Robin, I'm not Robin anymore. They're looking to you as a leader.
Hmm.
You're out in the field with them, so you have to be a leader. And I love the fact that when Jason's like, so if I'm Robin,
And who are you?
who are you?
Hmm.
And he's like, good question. So once again, subtle teases to when he's gonna don the Nightwing costume. So I can't wait, and I'm glad there's no like leak photos online of the suit and shit. Because you know when there's leak photos, almost every time someone talks shit
Hmm.
about the costume. Oh, look how the costume looks, bro. There's no costume that's really gonna look good by you just seeing a leak picture online without them doing their movie magic. While they're doing their magic with lighting and all the contrast and all that shit that they do to make the suits look great. Like so
Yeah, I agree
so
with
yeah,
that,
and I can't wait.
and I can't wait. Yeah, I agree with that too. And for people who were, and I know we address people who complain a lot. For the people who were kind of, I guess, upset about the way Raven looked. I mean, now we got the most Raven look outside of her wearing the cape and everything like that. She has the hair. She has everything that she's supposed to have right now to look like
In
Raven.
which
So.
in which I in which I feel like we're gonna get a more traditional Raven costume look soon. I mean, I've seen pictures of her like in a costume, so I like people are gonna she's gonna look more and more like Raven. But I'm glad they're not. I'm glad what I'm most happy about this episode is the fact that last episode they just got the Titans. Well, first of all, I'm glad they called it Titans Tower, but just got the Titans Tower,
Hmm.
and I'm glad that this episode when Rose it showed Rose running from the cops or whatever, it wasn't an episode to where Dick Grayson is like, "Yo, it's time for the team to go to work, go." I'm glad they didn't rush that. Like it said 3 months later,
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much 3 months later. He's been training them, whatever, but he's not rushing them out on the field. And I'm happy. I'm so happy about that. That shouldn't be something that happened immediately. They're still training, and they're like we all know Jason Todd can go on the field, no problem. Get
Right.
that. We know that. But Gar and Raven cannot. You know what I mean? They still, I don't think they're ready yet. So
Yeah, I
I'm glad
agree.
they didn't rush that. I'm glad they didn't rush that. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the next episode. I think, I even told my brother, "Oh man, this feels like the most Titan season so far. Like this is
Hmm.
they're doing a tremendous job on here. Jason Todd and Dick Grayson are amazing. I don't know what else to add on top of this episode. I think.
And it has and a lot and one thing that I'm happy about in this show now in this season, you could tell last season they were really like trying to find their footing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the show still has the more adult kind of goriness to where you see the blood, you see the attacks, whatever. There's still the language is still there. It's still edgy,
Mm-hmm.
but but at the same time of the edginess, it's a lighter tone that fits Titans, that fits a Titans team. It's still edgy, but it's more of it's not as dark. It's not as dark, which I was fine with season one, but I understood that season one was that dark because the centerpiece of the story was a dark character.
Mm-hmm.
So the centerpiece of this story in season two isn't Raven, so it doesn't need to be that dark in this season. So I'm glad they made that change completely, and it's working great for this season.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. And also, Dick Grayson, he's not as dark as he was in the first season either. Like he had a whole lot of resentment and
That yeah,
anger held up. So when you
he
got two
he re- he
people who
resolved that. He
and
had
he
a
oh go ahead.
good.
No, no, he like you said, he
No,
resolved
go
it.
ahead.
And you have two people who are in a space of being dark, whether, they have a lot of darkness within themselves, resentment, hatred because of someone who trained them, Batman or against the world. And you have these two individuals, which is him and Raven, and they're all around each other. You're gonna get that heaviness, that feeling that we got in the first season. And in this season, Raven, even though she doesn't have everything more resolved, it feels like she's a lot more antiquated with the things that's going on around her. Because before we talked about
She's
this,
happier.
yeah, she's happier, and she's understanding what's going on. Before, she was just confused and scared and just was in this dark place and saw too much in probably the first episode of season one. And now
Hmm.
she just, getting to the space where she's just, kind of just, I don't know, just kind of happy with what's going on right now. And it changes
Yeah,
everything.
it's because it's also last season she was scared, worried child, wanting to find her mother, this and that and this. Last episode, the first episode, and by the end of the first episode, Raven said to herself, and she said to her father, "I know who my family is now," and she knows that these people that she's with, that's her family, and that's automatically puts her in a much happier and brighter place. So now she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
She's in a good place, and she's no longer lost, and and that's the most important part. And for Dick Grayson, he had his conversation with Bruce, and that completely took away all that darkness out of him, and now he's doing things the right way, and I'm glad. Like a lot of people, I understood the sense why the first season was the way it was. Your two main characters were going through a really dark path.
Yeah, you got two main
So
characters with daddy issues,
yeah,
basically.
and you're gonna see that on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But any you we didn't talk about Rose. Any thoughts on Rose?
I think she's pretty cool. I think once we get more out of her, I think I'll have a better
Hmm.
idea of how I feel about her. I don't want to say anything
I thought that
premature.
was I thought that was a dope ass introduction to her. Like she beat the shit out of them cops.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what it is about.
And when
I don't know what it is about like in these superhero movies, whether we're talking about the boys or not movies but shows, whether we're talking about the boys or we're talking about Titans. Whenever it's like an Asian character that's running away, they be When it's the
Yeah,
Asian people,
bro,
she be
bro. And when
tearing
she
bugs up, bro.
and when she jumped to the other that other building. I was like, oh damn. But I also like when she jumped to that other building. Like she was slow to get up. Like it really affected her. She didn't like just jump to the other side of the building and she got up right away and just ran away. Or it really affected her.
Right.
And then Dick Grayson was able to find her not only because he's worked with Batman, so he's able to be a great detective and be able to find people, but also it showed her that she was worn out
Mm-hmm.
and she was hiding. She was basically sleeping. It showed that that fall affected her. The fact that she was laid out in the alley like that, to where Dick could find her. So I thought that little subtle things like that I love because it shows you that the show knows what it's doing and it cares about the details.
And
So
I like
I love that.
I like the fact that even though Dick Grayson he's in a better place than he was before, but I personally don't think he's at that level where Bruce Wayne is, where he's kind of like I have everything figured out and resolved. He's still young. So what
Oh
makes that
yeah, oh
so
yeah,
what
he does.
Yeah, so what makes that interesting is that when you add these characters like Rose, when we come to find out, what really is going on with her and her backstory, which I'm pretty sure is something tragic. He's gonna try to fix her, but I wanna know what type of things she can add on to kind of help him even more in his path of what he's trying to do. You know, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's gonna be
because he
interesting.
still needs more help because yeah, it's gonna show that he still got a little ways to go because he hasn't he, he's not Nightwing yet.
Mm-mm. Yep.
He didn't don the outfit yet. So they're
Mm-hmm.
building towards that. So there's still more that Dick has to discover and resolve within himself. So and you that line, and it also telling to that line that Rachel told Gar, when they had that conversation in Rachel's room, which I thought that was a great conversation. I like that conversation because Gar was telling her that you notice that how Dick is acting towards me, he's acting really nice towards me. She's like, yeah, because he kind of feels bad because he basically almost killed you. Um, uh, and then and when Gar was like, "So are you afraid that he's gonna look at you as a failure?" And she said, "No, I'm afraid that he's gonna look at himself as a failure
Mm-hmm.
if the whole Titans thing doesn't work out." And I thought that was really telling. 'Cause even she knows that it's kind of he's not fully there yet.
And what's going to be more interesting is that as we saw in the first season where he had all this hatred and resentment towards Batman, which some of it or Bruce Wayne, which some of it is kind of resolved maybe out of the conversation that they had in episode 1, but I'm wondering as he gets older and mature more and he's dealing with these individuals who are broken, he start to understand Bruce Wayne's point of view of how he handled him and how those things are going to start making sense
Yeah,
to him now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's so many things they can do, man. It's gonna be very interesting.
By the way, speaking of, I'm gonna need y'all to put some de aging technology on my dog Jermormont because listen, I'm sorry. I don't ever think we're gonna see him as Batman. I just think he's gonna show up on the show as Bruce Wayne. But this ain't Batman Beyond. He should not be looking this old. I'm
It's way
sorry.
too old, bro.
Like he looks. The more I see him and the more close up shots they give me, like I'm like, yo, dude, there's too many wrinkles on his forehead. Like it's not.
you,
No.
you, you know what he looked like. You remember the Hercules cartoon when he jumped into that sea of souls and he was swimming down there and trying to get the. That's what he kind of remind me.
You wildin', bro. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo,
He's
I'm
way
like,
too
yo,
old.
damn. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, yo, Dick and Alfred has a really good relationship. Like this should be Alfred, bro.
Yeah. That makes you wonder like is Alfred still alive? Because Alfred was way older than Bruce Wayne, so it's like is he
Yes,
what's
Alfred
going on?
is Alfred is way older than Bruce Wayne, fam. Yo, if Alfred looks younger than him, bro, nah, cancel the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, we
So,
can't do that. Don't even show Alfred. Just let it go.
don't so no, don't do it.
He's like
Do not do.
meet my new butler, Alfreda, and it's like a young female. That would be crazy.
Oh my
But
god.
all in all, man, I'm really happy
Oh,
about Titans right now. There's nothing. People had comments about the previous season, but I think right now the way things are going, there's really not anything you can say that is wrong about the show. Yeah, you can have some
nah, first two
skeptics.
episodes, first
Yeah,
two episodes was great.
they're doing good, man. It's so good. I'm so happy for them, man. I'm so happy they figured it out.
Yep, me
I
too.
really am. Was there anything else you had to add about this episode?
Nope, it was great.
Yeah, I love it. I cannot wait for
Oh, we
episode
didn't
three.
talk about. Oh, we didn't talk about. What did you think about what? Well, first of all, I'm hyped that the Tamaranians in this show are black.
Yeah, that's a
That's
fact.
me. Uh, yeah. So what do you think gonna happen there?
That's a tough one. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Me either. That's tough.
I don't. I don't know. I don't really know what's gonna happen because that dude said he was the only one that came from to get Starfire. So I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, and the
But
fact that they invented donuts, that's an interesting fact too.
oh, I thought it was a dope. I thought that was a dope dope way to tell us that this everybody like all the DC characters that you know exist in this universe. We've already seen them mention Superman a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
and in this episode, we saw Donna Troy get her information about Shimmer from Roy Harper.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was hella. I thought that was great. I love when shows do this, and I love the approach to this show because it's telling you that you're in the DC universe and all of these superheroes and villains exist, but that doesn't mean you're gonna see all of them.
Of course not.
But we're gonna let you know that they exist. This story is central and is based on the Titans. You don't necessarily need to see all the other people, heroes that is supposed to be in this world or whatever, but you'll know that they're there. We'll mention them, and I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so
Because
there's no confusion.
first when she said at first she got her information from Roy Harper, I was like, oh shit, cool. And then she got a phone call and the phone showed that's Roy Harper. I thought, oh shit, that's fucking dope. So I thought that was dope.
No, I agree. That is dope. It's just like it's no confusion. You know, they still exist.
Yep,
Yeah. Um. Yeah, like I said, really good episode. Really good episode. Keep up the good
absolutely.
work, man. Keep picking these great actors. I can't wait till they get into what they have to get into with Deathstroke. That's gonna be really interesting. Really interesting.
Once again, they didn't show a preview to next episode. Fuck.
Good. I'm happy. Don't
Uh,
give it to me until you want to
I
give it to
know,
me.
I know. I'm cool with it too, but damn it, I want that tease. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel you, but I just, because you know what happens is like sometimes with some shows and they show previews, people go online and they dissect it and then they end up kind of spoiling it.
Yeah,
So I don't.
yeah, it's true.
I would hate for that to happen for Titans because the show is so good, so good.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, that was our review for Titans episode 2, season 2. What did you guys think about this episode? Let us know what you guys think. We will be here later on this week doing our episode 3 review as we talk about Titans once again. I am Preston and that is Carmine. Peace. Have a good day.
Peace.